Welcome to the Kobe Bryant Film Room, and we're gonna get into this little segment from Undisputed today, featuring Paul Pierce, Keyshawn Johnson, and Skip Bayless. I also want to say this, right? Sorry, I haven't been able to get you the watch party of that 55-point game. I've got that coming on the way. Man, I've just been working hard, man, so I've been tired. I gotta kind of recoup throughout the week. I've got the Michael Jordan 63-point game coming on the Michael Jordan Film Room. Y'all check out that channel, like and subscribe to that channel as well. Turn on your notifications so that you get notified when I drop a video. Okay, so let's get into this conversation, man, about the Lakers and the Pacers.
87, that's a lot of points in 87.
Yes, for showtime.
Whoa,
Okay.
Look at that score. 150 to 145. They're not playing a lick of defense out there. Golly.
Paul Pierce, you don't see these Lakers getting out of the play-in, but anything impress you about them last night?
Yeah, I was impressed that they had the ability to put up 150, but
Yeah.
Indiana forces you to play that way. I feel like every time I watch them, the score is just the numbers. It's always going to be the over. When
They
don't play
They
defense.
don't play any defense.
Yeah.
They get up and down the court. But lately I have been impressed with the Lakers. I mean,
Indiana needs to address that moving forward, in the future. If they're going to build around Halliburton, man, get that dude some defensive stoppers on the team. It's ridiculous to let a team score 150 on you. Because you're scoring. Scoring is not their issue. They got 145. That's enough to win a game.
won 3 in a row. And when I look at their up and coming schedule, they go on the road for 6 games, and they can possibly win. They should win 4 of the next 6 on the road. When I look at it, you got Milwaukee. I don't know if they can win in
I don't think
Milwaukee.
they can win.
Memphis, they should
Challenging
win.
game.
Indiana, be
Although at Memphis is a back-to-back, so will LeBron and AD...
I'll rest them versus Milwaukee.
Okay, all right.
I mean,
You would. You just give it.
I'll
Okay,
just
give
rest
it
them
up.
versus Milwaukee.
All right.
I need to.
And they might get sliced and diced if Giannis plays. Because Milwaukee's kind of been on a little bit of a run.
To the war and say, all right, we need to get Memphis.
All right.
Don't fight with Indiana.
Yeah.
They should beat Brooklyn, Toronto.
It's an
and
easy-ass
Washington.
schedule.
At this point.
Agree.
I bet you they're all home games, too. Adam Silver is ignorant. It's an easy-ass fucking schedule.
I like where they at, winning 3 in a row. They should win the next 4 out of 6. And so that's what you need coming down the stretch. You need to gather momentum.
Yeah.
You need to play with confidence and start getting into a rhythm. I like what AD has been doing. He's been consistent lately.
He's been
You know
balling.
LeBron's going to be, but the most important thing is that they're getting the other players involved. You're allowing Spencer Dinwiddie to go out here and shine.
Spencer Dinwiddie
Austin Reeves and the
looked decent
Lakers wanna
last
do
night.
Anything in the playoffs, these guys got to have a rhythm.
Yeah.
They got to have the ball. And if they continue to do
Well, that's
that,
going to change once D'Lo gets back. Spencer Dinwiddie's one of those guys is going to have to sacrifice. So Darvin Ham has a challenge to figure out which one is going to play more. You got to run D'Lo because of the way he's been playing, but that's going to shut out Dinwiddie. So Dinwiddie will have to be as productive as he possibly can be. It's going to be hard for him in the limited role.
they got a shot in a playoff, in a play-in to make it to the playoffs. And so
Well, the referee's going to make sure they make it to the playoffs. Let's be real. The NBA is having meetings behind the scenes saying, hey, look, we can't let all this good money go to waste. Because the calls that they were getting was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, golly, the free throw disparity, y'all, is on another level right now. I mean, I wonder if they're gonna make history with the amount of free throws they're getting, bro. It has to be historic what they're doing.
Revising your look at them.
I'm revising my look because I have to look at the schedule.
All right.
And I'm
Oh,
looking
the
at this is
schedule
very
easy.
favorable to them. And I like what you got to get these wins. Now, if they come up this road trip and say go 2-4, I'm not so confident in them. But as
But you got them
stands,
4 and 2.
And I want you guys to check out this schedule. The NBA has done a great job helping the Lakers, giving them the easiest schedule imaginable. Look at those teams. Besides Sacramento, all them other teams is pretty much suck. except for the Bucks. They got the Bucks tomorrow, and then they got an easy path, right? This is ridiculous, yo. Some of these teams have been on a back-to-back, and then they were able to catch them. This is ridiculous.
I have
That's
Milwaukee
easy
and
as schedule.
Indiana next Friday night.
Yeah,
Okay.
they'll lose those
But this
two.
doesn't help the Lakers in the long run because they're not playing anybody. That's gonna hurt them.
And they should win the rest. So that's a pretty good. So now you're looking at winning 7 out of the next.
See, people. I want to say this too, and I'm gonna stop cutting it as much. But people, for some reason, they wonder how the Lakers can keep getting into the playoffs, and they get smashed against a team like Denver, right? The reason why you can get smashed against great teams or really good teams in the NBA is because you got there and you didn't deserve to be there. That's the reason why a lot of LeBron teams get smashed, because they're not facing the same competition as they do in the later rounds. This competition is weak, bro. This is not going to prepare you to win a championship. Going through the Warriors, Hawks, Sixers, Pacers. That's not going to prepare you to win. Then you got the Nets on the other side. The Nets, the Raptors, the damn Wizards, the Cat. Come on.
9 games down the stretch. And so I'm pretty bullish on the Lakers at this point in the season, especially after last night.
You know, when I look at him last night, Paul, I looked at him better yet. I like the fact that Anthony Davis can take advantage of a little smaller front. You know, not as long and as big. He does.
Miles Turner's not.
I mean, really?
Yeah, but across the board though, they're not as big as some of the other teams that he has struggled against. When you look at him, so he was able to dominate. But the Spencer did what he taking over at the last minute for D'Angelo Russell and getting into the 20-point category, shooting the ball well at 5 assists. So
It's the Pacers, bro.
I think the season high was 11 so far. Go ahead.
Yeah, but you bring everything. You see what he can bring to the table skills. So now you say to yourself, okay, here's another guy who's getting the opportunity to showcase his skills. LeBron only shot the ball 19 times. So that's
Well, look, it's the Pacers, bro. This is the reason why Darvin Ham felt comfortable sitting D-Lo. He knew these guys were going to be not play no defense and let them run the score off.
That's pointing to what you said.
Yes, it is.
I say only 19. If he's into the mid-20s,
Right.
you know, now you're taking opportunities away from everybody else. He had 10
It's
assists.
better when he's allowing these other guys to get opportunities.
And he did have 10 assists.
He had 10 assists, which is key.
It is.
You know, and then when you talk about just overall, them not really necessarily pulling away. They was up by the 19 late in the game, but they didn't pull away.
By any chance, do you think any of these 3 guys will bring up the free throws? Hey, look, Paul has to play the game, right? Paul has to act like he didn't see what he saw last night, right? He has to grade them on as if they won legitimate last night. But we all know, bro, the free throws help too. If the Lakers continue getting this many free throws, they can really make noise in the playoffs. But no one's gonna address the elephant in the room because you have to play the game to stay on TV, you know? So Skip, even though he does push back sometimes, Paul push back sometimes, Keyshawn never pushes back. He supports everything LeBron does, but they can only go so far because they're on television. They know the free throws is ridiculous. They just can't say it.
They didn't pull away. They allowed Indy to still kind of hover around, but they closed in the end. And I think one of the problems that the Lakers have always had, in particular against like the Denver Nuggets or Golden State, when them last
read that at the bottom, right? What stood out about the Lakers' performance? Could it have been the free throw disparity? Still not gonna address. Let's see. Okay, maybe I'm acting too soon. Let's see if somebody addresses this.
5 minutes of game start to come around. Sacramento, they tend to disappear on both ends of the floor. Now, speaking to Paul's question, remaining part of the schedule, I'm certainly playing everybody against the Milwaukee Bucks.
No.
And the reason I'm playing against the Milwaukee Bucks is because we need to gauge ourselves against real competition.
There you go, Keyshawn.
Now, excuse me. Now we can rest them on a back-to-back against Memphis. and get them back again against Indianapolis, even though Indy,
Yeah.
even though you've beaten them and you've shown you could beat the Pacers last night, or whether in the in-game tournament, you still are on the road now. So now you bring them back, rest them against Memphis, which is a short-handed team. You take your top players and rest them.
Thank
Now
God
you
for the
get them back
NBA
against
schedule,
Indiana.
right?
Then you say, okay, Brooklyn, Toronto, Washington. And now you start to look, okay, we can now look up because we come back home against the Cleveland Cavs, which is a pretty good team. Now they're rested enough when you come home to take care of business against Cleveland. That's the way, if I was coaching them in the rotation, that's the way I would do it.
If you rest them versus Memphis, that's not going to be a gimme win.
I understand that, but I'd rather pop Milwaukee.
That's going to be a scheduled loss.
And I would rather
pop.
I'd rather pop Milwaukee and pop Indy. Memphis is they're not going anywhere, so you might as well just let them rest.
By the way, the Thunder played all their guys last night at Milwaukee and got annihilated in the third quarter. They got as close at halftime, and that's.
But wouldn't you want to gauge yourself?
At this stage, I'm like, we're playing playoff.
Look, listen. Of course, you want to gauge yourself against the great competition. I kind of understand where both of them are coming from. I understand where Paul's coming from. Keyshawn makes a good point, but you could rest them against Milwaukee. But for me, I do kind of want to gauge to see where the Lakers are really at. But you know, you're trying to make them. It's kind of too late at this point. You're kind of trying to, chase your own tail. So
Opposition and health.
So you worried about the
We not even worried about Milwaukee right now because we don't have to see them in the playoffs unless we get to the finals.
I just said that.
And they're there. So we don't need them problems right now.
Well, you're not gonna see any of these teams.
I'll sit LeBron at least versus Milwaukee. Play AD. Let him match up against the Greek Freak.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Okay, we'll play AD then.
But I know we have to get Memphis the next night, which is a back-to-back. And I don't want Bron playing back-to-back nights this late in the season.
No.
We have
That's
to
a
get
fact.
that game right there.
That's a fact.
That's what
So would you rest LeBron against Milwaukee and AD against Memphis?
I can do that.
And bring them both
That
back
works.
against Memphis?
That works.
Back versus Indy.
That makes
then
sense.
we can rest them again in Toronto because Toronto not looking like they're trying to win at this stage in the season anyway.
Yeah.
So it's ways that you can kind of manage them down the stretch with this long
That makes
trip.
sense.
But even the next five after that is Cleveland gonna be hell. Minnesota, we just saw what they did to Golden State late in the game. It was tough, but we know what they can do. Then you got Golden State. All three of those games at home. Then you go to Memphis, and then you end with New Orleans. And who knows at April 14th where the play-in opportunities are gonna be? They might be the 10th, the 9th. Who knows with Houston hanging around?
Houston
Golden
is
State
coming
may
up.
be out of there at some point.
Ime Udoka is doing a fantastic job in Houston, man. They won like 10 games in a row. Houston's fucking coming up, bro. The Lakers and the Warriors have to be careful with Houston because they could easily fall out.
Yeah. All right. What impressed me by far the most last night was Anthony Davis did show way up.
Way up.
Because this is
He was
monster
balling.
stuff. When he makes 15 of 21 shots and he has 16 rebounds and scores 36 points, that's the kind of production that can take you far into the playoffs. If you can get that on a nightly basis from that guy, nobody else really has that except Joker and whoever,
The healthy
Giannis,
Giannis.
yes, those two. But listen, Miles Turner can block shots. He got ragdolled last night.
But Miles Turner's kind of a soft big. And I don't mean soft like he's a punk or nothing like that. I mean like he's like finesse. Like that dude is not like gonna really challenge AD like that.
Embarrassed. He could not begin to slow down or bang or hang with Anthony Davis. And yet Anthony Davis was the first to speak up and speak out after the game, and I loved him for this. He said, we allowed them to score 145 points. It was terrible defensively.
Yeah.
We can't do that. So the point is, it was a classic are we there yet game again for the Lakers because they flex and they show you their firepower even without D'Lo, and they have not won a game all year without D'Lo. They're 0-5 without D'Lo, and they finally won a game without him because, to your point, Key,
D'Lo's very
When he
important to
stepped
this
up,
team.
he's capable. He's done this at Dallas, and he did this at Brooklyn. You could see, and he's not an all-star, but he's a decent NBA player when called upon, and he's an LA area kid. He's loving this. This is a big stage for him, and he showed up and showed way out last night when called upon.
He was
and
good.
That was
He was
key
good. But then
for the
again,
future
it was the Pacers. But he was good last night. He was.
this team, the near future. So the point is that they played 3/4 of decent defense against a team that just pushes it like crazy. They're the number one offensive team in the league because they're going to shoot it the most, and they're not going to play any defense. It's all offense and no defense. But the Lakers, we saw them in the in-season tournament championship game at Las Vegas. They held this team to 109 points because AD just said, you can't come in here. And all of them locked down. Halliburton didn't have a good game. He didn't have a good game last night until the bitter end, and he made 2 really late
Halliburton played like shit last night, in my opinion. He didn't show up.
threes. They got him up to 12 points. So they did a good job on him, but everybody else was scoring like crazy. And so they're ranked 16th defensively. That's the problem. That's why they're still just sort of teetering along in the 9th spot, because they don't play much defense either. They play more than Indiana does.
Well, look, defense wins championships, and they don't play defense, so you think they're going to win the chip? I say hell no. But if they get this many free throws, hey, that can level the playing field a little bit.
They don't play much defense.
And the thing that's scary though is when AD gets in the early foul trouble. That was he had 3 fouls early.
Don't worry about that. The NBA will take care of that.
What's going to happen? But he only picked up another one and he was able to finish. When he gets in the early foul trouble, Paul, that could present a problem for us from a frontline standpoint.
All right, but by the way, Rick Carlisle after the game.
It's funny. You see how Keyshawn's looking at this paper?
Finish. When he gets in the early
But he's
foul
going to ignore the free throws. Look at this paper.
that could present a problem for us.
Look at this. Look at the stats, Keyshawn. What the free throws look like, dog.
From a frontline standpoint.
He's looking past everything.
By the way, Rick Carlisle after the game was not happy about the free throw discussion.
There we go. Hey, y'all. There we go. Skip actually went there. Let's get it.
Shot 43 free throws and did make 38 of them. And the visitors shot 16 free throws and made 9 of them.
Skip read the paper. Look, Keyshawn looked at the same goddamn paper. In the production meeting, they put the paper. They gave them both the sheet of paper, bro. To go out there, Keyshawn was looking at the same goddamn lines Skip was.
LeBron made all his, didn't he?
Yeah.
Did he make all of them, Skip? Let me look. Let me see.
Yeah, 8 for 8, right?
8 for 8. Okay, I'm just bringing that up to Skip.
Okay.
I wonder if Paul's gonna say anything. Look, I wonder if Paul's gonna say anything.
Terrible free throw shooter. He's 73% for his career. Is that good, Paul?
I was about to ask you, what was yours? I was 80, 88,
80,
80.
81.
80-81. I'll take that over 73 any day. So, Keyshawn, what do I keep telling you about who the closer for this team has to be? It's your favorite player, Austin Reeves. What did he do last night?
He got free throws.
In the last 40 seconds, he made all 6 of his free throws. And they needed all 6 of them because Indiana will not quit. Rick Carlisle says, I got a team with a big heart, and they do have heart. So if we could see Halliburton finally got going, if we could see the 2 threes he made, you can say he pulled them out of his you-know-what, but this is what he does occasionally. He shoots that funky set shot. So here's Halliburton, and it seems like the game's over, and LeBron kind of loses him, and kaboom. And then here we go again, and Austin Reeves loses him, and it's
boom, rainbow.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah, these are bombs. And still, I'm going to give LeBron big credit for this because they got one last shot at it with what time was left. It's the final 3 points, 11 seconds left. They had a shot to cut it to 1, and here it is to Halliburton, and LeBron did a nice job there. At least he closed him out a little bit, got him in the face.
Those first two threes, he didn't even bother.
But the thing about Halliburton is his jumper kind of funky, but it go in, so you don't really respect it.
No.
So you kind of like, if he's shooting that deep, you're like, all right, go ahead. But he's shown that he can make this shot.
But you just called it a jumper. He does not
Yeah,
jump
it's a set
to
shot.
the ball. His feet are on the floor.
It seems like he just slings it
But
up
if you
there.
know it's going in, A lot of the times.
I mean, he's been struggling too lately, so you're not really like he had a good game this last game, but like over the course of since All-Star break, he kind of been struggling, and so you kind of hesitate when a guy is 6 feet off the 3-point line shooting from that deep, and I knew where LeBron was coming from. Like, oh, we'll take that. You know, I think that's like he with us. There's only one guy, 2 guys in the league that's consistently knocking that shot down, and that's Steph and Dame Lillard. So you kind of like, I'll
still
kind
trying
of
to
give it
find
to him,
his
and
way.
he gets one more step in. You know, but those shots from Halliburton, you kind of will take. But if he hits them, it's like hat off.
Yeah. Well, he shoots rainbows, man.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funky too. I mean, I know if I was guard, I'd be like, go ahead. Yeah. And then when you hit him, you're like, I should have got there.
Yeah. So again, he hits those 2 late threes to get him all the way up to 12 points for the game.
Right.
So when he made them, he had 6 points for the game.
So
you're thinking, well, he's just out of it. You know.
Yeah, see, right here, what I'm saying, Paul, see, he kind of hesitating in between.
He's struggling, so why wouldn't you want to give it to him then? He's on the board in the game until these 2.
LeBron didn't even fight.
And that's what the young guys don't understand. The veterans, and that's kind of smart of LeBron, even though I think it was a little bit of LeBron playing bad defense. It would be kind of smart of LeBron to leave an inconsistent shooter open. You know what I'm saying? A guy who's struggling, who's young, can't find his stroke, pause. And he's been shooting the ball, haven't been shooting the ball well. You give him that shot, see if he can hit it. You know what I'm saying? The game's on the line, it's a lot of pressure. Could he come through? The answer is no most of the time with young players.
Hey, so I mean, I get where he was coming from with that. You playing a percentage.
Now, just for fun, I got to show my man Keyshawn one more. Austin Reeves.
Here we go.
It's not a LeBron play. It's an Austin.
This dude acts like Austin Reeves is fucking Larry Bird or some shit.
All right.
Yeah, this is with 1:40 left. He gets beat by
The block.
Neesmith, and he comes from behind him and he snakes him. And
That was a good defensive
he
play.
gets him from behind.
That was a good defensive
That's
play.
what he could have gave up. Right here, he could have just gave up, but he didn't.
Well, he was right there. But that was a good defensive play.
For a guy who can be a defensive liability on occasion.
No, he gave up. He played with high energy.
He
played with effort and high energy.
Defender, but if you continue to play with effort,
That's what
He's
I'm
trying.
saying.
That's one thing about Austin Reeves is that he tries. He's just not good at defense. He tries though, and every now and then he'll get a stop. You know.
Man,
He overachieves. He's Charlie Hustle.
man,
Right?
there ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
There's nothing. If you Charlie Hustle and you knock it down, you getting 25 points and you 6 or 13, and you 11 or 12 from the free throw line. You doing everything you're supposed to do. You don't keep.
Wait. He kind of just blew past that. 11 or 12 from the free throw line is a lot for a role player like Austin Reeves. Like, I think that was more than Siakam got. That's a ridiculous amount, and he just blew by that.
Getting a check.
You know, another thing that stands out to me is he had 8 assists.
And he had 8 assists.
So you know what that
That's
means?
good too.
LeBron is allowing him
He's
to make
playmaking.
plays. He's allowing him to get the ball and create for others. And that's all I said from LeBron. You know, if he can allow the other guys to come in here and help him out and allow him to do playmaking abilities, him and Dinwiddie, I think it makes them a better team. But if he's, you know, kind of like...
Well, he's got to get his average. And so LeBron's going to take over. You know, don't let it fool you. He going to get his average. Because that's his thing with the stats. So it ain't gonna last, trust me.
Usage is up and he's always on the ball.
Yeah.
It just takes away what the capabilities of this team can be.
Dinwiddie takes over for D. Russ. Now, Russ is, he had a nice year. He scored a lot of points and whatnot. Does this turn into maybe he goes and comes off the bench and you start Dinwiddie?
You see this bullshit? Now, Dinwiddie came over there because he was playing like shit. He wasn't shooting the ball well, right? He comes over to the Lakers just because he has a good game against the Pacers, who don't play any fucking defense. This guy right here is going to sit D'Lo, who's been damn near the hottest player after the All-Star break, on the bench, who Skip just read out this dude's record with the Lakers with him on the court, and Keyshawn's still going to try and put him on the bench. This is hilarious. They barely win without him, bro. You need him on the court.
Oh.
No, you don't do after one game, Key. It's one game. It's one game samples size. It's against a team who can't guard me
Exactly.
today.
Okay.
I mean, come on.
Okay. I'm just asking the question. I don't know.
This guy's
I'm
crazy.
asking you because you would know better than me on how this basketball.
Keyshawn knows absolutely nothing about basketball, bro, and it's hilarious. I love doing. That's why I do this show, because this is material right there. I know Keyshawn be up there. He don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
The good thing about Dinwiddie having a game like this is like, all right, he's trying to figure out who he is in this lineup. He's said it before. He doesn't know. It's hard playing. When you're adjusting it, making it, coming to a team that's late in the league, it gives him confidence now. So now he comes out, he has a great game. So now when he comes back to the bench, he knows, what he's capable of.
Okay.
In a playoff setting, to where if D'Lo gets into foul trouble,
Yeah,
You know,
he come in right away.
put him in, and now
Yes,
he's
sir.
gaining some trust amongst his teammates.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
So, Keyshawn.
Yes, sir.
That's interesting. Huh. How many free throws did LeBron shoot in the fourth quarter after you were raving about it?
No, I don't know. How many did he shoot
None.
for?
He shot none. You
Yeah,
know why?
Looking at it.
The designated.
I'm just saying, ain't Nate, man.
The designated free throw
Oh,
shooter.
God, here, Reeves, take the
Here.
ball. LeBron's scared. He don't want to shoot the football.
Because they
That's what
know
he get ready to tell.
somebody's going to get fouled. Let's inbound the ball to Austin Reeves.
I don't think he was scared. I think he knew what was going on with the officiating, and he said, "Shit, this dude's Reeves is fucking getting. He got 12. This motherfucker's getting free throws every time he touched the damn ball. Why would you interfere with that?" So if he sees that with his eyes, he's gonna be like, "Yo, of course this dude can have the ball, bro. He's getting a whistle for nothing."
He can get fouled and he'll go to the other end and go swish, swish, and we'll be
This
okay.
dude, you'll say anything.
No, I'm not saying anything. It happens every
Well,
night.
there's some
You
truth
say,
to
"Oh,
it.
you're
Doesn't
not
happen
seeing
every
it,
night.
it's
That may
happening."
be the smartest thing to do, so
Yeah.
he shoots a high percentage.
Exactly.
He does. He does. All right. So, Paul, so have you amended your position on this team? Are you ready to say they're going to make some kind
And
of
I hope the truth tells the truth.
playoff run? Can you see them getting out of a round of the playoffs?
It depends. I think this playoffs is all going to be about matchups. If
Exactly.
they end up with Denver, no shot. If they have to see OKC, I think they may have a chance.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think OKC will have some trouble with them because they like to go. They're smaller, right? They're not really big guys, right? I think they'll have a little bit of trouble, and plus they're still trying to find their way. Now the veteran teams who are still good, you'll have to worry about them. I think New Orleans has the length and the athleticism to kind of combat the Lakers, but experience takes play at some point in time. And I think the Lakers could get by those two teams. If they see the Kings, they're done.
KC, who's young, they just don't have no playoff experience.
They don't.
They haven't played any big
The Lakers
games.
have handled them twice this year.
So whenever we run up against Denver, you're projecting we're going home.
An ass whooping.
Oh man,
Whenever we run up against
if
them.
they come out with this, when it's all said and done, and you got to go to Denver,
It's an ass
before
whooping.
game one, you can start making vacation plans.
It's an ass whooping.
If it's
I just
Denver,
wanted to-
but if
I
it's
just wanted to hear that.
Oklahoma or even Minnesota,
I agree.
I think they
all right,
could.
that's a good
I think they
matchup.
could
Lakers-
beat Minnesota too. Anthony Edwards. I'm not sold. I like Ant-Man. He's a great young talent and he has potential towards the future, but he ain't been showing up. Like last playing tournament he played, this dude plays like shit. Like every time he plays the Lakers, he doesn't really do that well. Well, from what I've seen, I gotta check out some more Laker games, but from what I've seen, bro, he drops the ball sometimes.
because these guys haven't played on a big stage yet. They haven't played any meaningful playoff games yet. And so when you get out on a big stage to where now national televised game, y'all the only game on where LeBron and AD have been in the light. This, the lights get bright when you look up on that big stage and sometimes they can't see. And I can see that happening to these youngsters. I just seen OKC get blown out in Milwaukee.
Blown.
Big game.
Yeah.
It's a measure stick game at the end of the year, and you get blown out in Milwaukee, and that's not a sign of a team that's a contender.
Chet Holmgren got annihilated by Giannis.
Yeah.
I mean, really
Yeah.
punished.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Ain't
I
big
can
enough.
just see the Lakers if they get the right seed and
And
the
Chet's
right
gonna struggle against AD too. He got to gain a little bit of muscle there.
matchup in the first round, they can get out.
I wish they had Jared Vanderbilt. I wish they had Gabe Vincent. Christian Wood wouldn't hurt. But it sounds like even if they come back, they won't. Maybe Jared Vanderbilt could help some as a defensive specialist. But the point is, to Keyshawn's point about Denver, yeah, they've lost 8 straight times to Denver, but 6 of the last 7 times it went to the wire. So it's not like Sacramento, because Sacramento just owns the Lakers and every game is a wipeout. Every game is a wipeout. They just can't play with Sacramento. I don't know why, although I would suggest in a playoff game,
For some reason, I don't know if it's Mike Brown and his defense and understanding.
It's the coaching plus it's the players. It's De'Aaron Fox is a fucking dog. You know what I'm saying? You got good players. You got Malik Monk, and you got Sabonis. You got guys who know how to play the game of basketball, and they can score and shoot that thing. They're made to compete in the playoffs. To me, in my opinion, they're a really good team.
I don't know how to play them, but for some reason, what is it, Skip? We lost 7 of the last 8.
7 of the last
They
8.
struggle against quicker teams.
Exactly.
Think about
They don't have an answer for De'Aaron Fox at
Yeah,
all.
when you got quick point guards who can
true.
consistently get into
Yep.
the lane, that's where the Lakers have trouble. And find open shooters like me playing on an older team. We hated playing young teams. You know, we were good. We like playing veteran teams that didn't push the pace like they do, that didn't have quick guards that can dissect the middle of your defense and find open shooters. And so that's a terrible matchup when you have these quick guards who can come in there against the Laker guards and make plays for others. You don't want to play against that pace.
Before Skip pays some bills, how hard is it?
Especially a 39-year-old man, he's not trying to run up and down the court. That's taxing.
To defend a left-hand shooter when you don't see left-hand shooters that often?
I mean, it's like facing a left-hand boxer when you're watching on TV.
Exactly.
That's something they're not used to because you're always taught to send your guy to the left.
Yeah.
You know, you're always taught to send him on the pick and roll left, shade him left. When you got a lefty who's out there who just goes left and finishes, and he can go right, it's unorthodox to what you're used to playing.
All right,
I figured.
final thought about the Nuggets. The Lakers do match up great with the Nuggets because they don't have a young electric point guard.
Exactly.
But they don't match up well with them in the last 2 minutes all those games because Joker and Jamal just say, we got this. And
Those two are some incredible closers. I mean, they can hit tough shots. They take turns hitting tough shots. To me, they're the closest thing to Shaq and Kobe. You know, as far as just one or the other just taking over. But the thing is, the difference between Jokic and Shaq, Jokic can stretch out the defense. He has a multitude of ways he could score outside the paint. So that's what makes it really tough for them to beat him. Him being able to spread the floor, run the point. The dude is incredible, bro. He's incredible. He's one of a kind for real.
close better than the Lakers close in 6 of the last 7 games.
Yeah, I mean, Denver, they know who they are.
They do.
They know who they are.
Yeah.
It's like the Lakers versus Denver is like big brother versus little brother. You just let them shoot, and you think it's closer than what it really is, but they always find a way to win. And being close doesn't mean nothing as long as Denver knows that at the end, we know we can.
Denver done fucked around and figured out how to win. And the fact that they won the championship, I think that gave them confidence, more confidence. It's like, you could see them toying with opponents, man. They toying with people out there.
And we know what opportunities we can take advantage of.
So LeBron is little brother against Denver.
Against Denver. That's their big brother. Or like Denver says, who's your dad?
Well, that's their son. Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah,
it's their son. It's their son.
That's their father.
That would be important.
I wasn't we was never little brothers. We was 13 points up in the fourth quarter. 2010 till we got whistled to death. 20 free throws. 20 free throws. I don't want to hear all that.
Oh, he crying. Paul, stop crying, bro.
Thanks for watching.
Paul, you guys fought valiantly. You left Ron Artest open and he canned that shit. It was over. But anyways, this is the Kobe Bryant Film Room. Figure out commentate on that. And like I said, I'm gonna try and get that video out for you guys. But it's hard, man. I've been doing 3 channels, you know what I'm saying? And so it get tough, and I'm not gonna overexert myself. I'm trying to take it easy every now and then because I'm a workaholic. Like I get into working too much, you know. And but I'll try and get that to y'all as soon as I possibly can. So y'all stay tuned, man. Hit that notification button, hit that like button, and I'll holler.